So much history in this building. University of Dayton Arena, as it's the number 6 team in the country, the South Carolina Gamecocks going up against the Dayton Flyers. The SEC meets the A-10. Alex Micus with Eric Farrell. And thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. Eric, both these teams unbeaten 2-0 and both picked to be up at the top of their conference. This is an early season matchup that you're excited about.
Yeah, it's an early season matchup in November that will pay dividends for the winner of this game come March and the NCAA tournament. Both teams, again, picked to finish the top of their league. A really test early on to kind of gauge where you're going to be moving forward in the non-conference.
South Carolina, a big win Sunday against number 4 Maryland on the road. They're trying to get another road win tonight. And Aliyah Boston, a freshman that has been spectacular to start her career.
Yes, spectacular doesn't begin to describe the first player in their first game to ever record a triple-double, coming off of a SEC Player of the Week. She's just been everything for South Carolina early in the season.
10 blocks in her first game, 5 blocks against the Terrapins. Let's go to the other side and a former Gamecock, and that being Ariane Bradshaw. These two teams played a great game a year ago. Bradshaw was a part of it, won a national championship in Columbia, but it's always interesting to play against some familiar friends.
Yeah, and she had a great game last year going back to Columbia in her kind of homecoming back there in the Flyers uniform. And this year she'll be the catalyst. I know she's got something to prove back with her old team, but now with her current team, her leadership role is only going to be amplified more. She's going to be asked to do a little bit more now.
Bradshaw was big Saturday at the guard position, had a career-high 10 rebounds. Let's see how both these teams stack up. For South Carolina, a win against Alabama State, and then what they were able to do Sunday, 63-54 against Maryland. One thing that jumps out for both these teams is the Flyers also 2-0 with wins against Lipscomb and Toledo. Rebounding, Eric.
Yeah, rebounding is going to be critical. The deep dive into these numbers is what South Carolina's been able to accomplish on the offensive side of the glass, getting about 50% of their offensive rebounds back. Well, on the other side, Dayton's been great in covering the defensive glass, only allowing about 94% or getting back 94%. So the tail of the tape is going to be when South Carolina misses a shot, who's coming down with them.
Both teams sort of struggled in shooting the ball in their first 2 games. With rebounding in the paint, Aliyah Boston, we talked about her, the blocks, that also sort of jumps out. Let's look at the SEC preseason. This is a South Carolina team. They have won the SEC tournament 4 straight years and picked to finish second. Now, in other polls, they do have them up at the top. Texas A&M, a tough bunch. SEC, just a tough conference, and we saw that firsthand earlier in the week with Tennessee on the road beating Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great test for the Flyers to go up against a team that's picked to finish in one of the power conferences. But at the same time, it's a great test for South Carolina as well, to go on the road to a team that's picked to finish in the top portion of their respective league. It's a team that they could play in the first round of the NCAA tournament come March.
Let's talk about the Atlantic 10, because this is a Dayton squad that last year finished 10-6, and they are picked to finish second behind VCU. Now, Fordham won the league a year ago, and, Atlantic 10, it's always a tough conference, and traditionally, a couple of teams find their way into the big tournament in March.
Yeah, and what you can look at that is in the top 4 teams are all separated just by a couple points. But that middle path, right, that's going to be the determining factor of moving through the conferences. Who's going to be able to maintain home court and then poach a couple of those road wins that are going to be ultra critical moving forward.
These two teams have met up a year ago in Columbia, South Carolina. It was a really good game, as it was just a 2-point contest going into the fourth quarter. There's Shauna Green on your screen, the head coach of the Flyers. I feel like that game a year ago gives them a little confidence coming into this year. Her 4th season at Dayton, Coach of the Year in the Atlantic 10, looking back to 2018. And, on the other side of the floor for South Carolina, and their head coach, Dawn Staley, a legend, she is going to be actually coaching Team USA next year in Tokyo. And she knows a little something about Coach of the Year in the Atlantic 10. Her time at Temple, she was sensational with the Owls. What she's done with the Gamecocks, outstanding.
Yeah, you look at both of those, and coaches right now, they're ultra competitive, and their college careers also both are Hall of Famers with their respective schools. And the interesting part is that how that comes out with the players, and it'll be interesting for the next 40 minutes to see whose competitive edge kind of comes out the most.
Boston Chandler in the center circle. Bruce Morris has got the ball. It's up in the air, and Dayton wins the tip. Our other officials, Safe Esho and Maggie Tiemann. Flyers in the white. It'll be South Carolina in the road black. As starters, and Kyla Whitehead back in the lineup. She was out against Toledo because of illness. Julia Chandler, transfer from Syracuse, played really well against the Gamecocks a year ago, and off to a nice start. We got a jump ball as she was tied up on the baseline. Look at the starters for South Carolina, and boy, what a young, talented group that they have as top class in 2019 in recruiting. But this is their senior with the basketball, Ty Harris, and she sort of runs the show for them. Part of that national championship, along with Kiki Herbert-Harrigan. And here's one of those freshmen on the jumper, Zia Cooke. A little bit of a homecoming from Toledo, Ohio. Missed that. Rebound came to Dayton. And it's Fowler getting a screen from Chandler, going downhill, and Shaquilla blocked by Herbert-Harrigan. And here come the Gamecocks on the run out. Harris, pull up from 15, off the back rim. Rebound fought for. And we got a foul. This is going against Bradshaw. As another one of those freshmen, Bree Beal out of Rock Island, Illinois. Eric, Coach Green there, she said she felt confident from last year, but some of these new faces here for South Carolina and some really talented freshmen.
Yeah, you mentioned it. It's the top recruiting class in 2019, and they're only getting better as the season progresses. The interesting thing early on for the Flyers is, as Boston goes in for the shot, is that they've got to treat a block shot if South Carolina is going to get a lot of blocks. They got to treat a block shot like a miss shot and get back on defense.
So Boston scores it. She had 8 of the first 10 points for South Carolina in their victory Sunday against Maryland. Shaquilla Fowler from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the senior, ties this game at 2.
Yeah, really good identification off of that ball screen. Defender drop back, quick little 14-foot jumper.
Fowler led the Flyers their last time out as she had a career high 16 points against the Rocket. Back into Boston, lowers that shoulder, right-hand hook. She is a load inside.
Yeah, established really good early position. It's a concerted effort by South Carolina right now to go inside to Boston, but Chandler's got to do a better job of keeping her out of the paint in the early post position.
Whitehead on a screen. Here's Bradshaw. Over to Scaife. Jayla Scaife. Nylon, and Dayton takes the lead, 5-4.
Yeah, really good driving kick right there.
Jayla Scaife picked preseason all-conference, was first team a year ago. Beal across the lane, missed the shot, left it short, but we got a foul. This is going against Chandler. So it'll be Beal at the line. Boy, has she been to the stripe early and often for her career at South Carolina. 14 attempts on the season. Comes to this game shooting 64%. Has kind of struggled on offense, but boy, this is a really talented player from Illinois. She was Miss Basketball in the state, not once, not twice, but 3 times.
It's a good job recruiting. Go get her down to South Carolina.
Beal, second toss. We're tied at 5.
You can see early on South Carolina, regardless of who they're going into, it's going to be a very concerted effort to dominate the paint.
Good start here for both these squads. Bradshaw, guarded by Harris, former teammates on that national championship team. Here's Whitehead. It's Mariah Perez, who just checked in. Dayton's only active freshman on this year's squad. Bradshaw in and out dribble. 8 seconds to shoot. Tacking, and we got a foul. And this is going to be against Ty Harris. And boy, for Eric, it's good news for the Flyers because you get 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's good, but what they need to do a better job is flowing after the play. Right now, South Carolina is doing a really good job of denying those elbow entry passes. So once the play breaks down, it's how do you play after the play.
Off the miss from Perez, Whitehead with the tap, but South Carolina able to control. Herbert-Harrigan goes over to Beal. High post to Boston, knocked away by Perez. Comes back to Beal in the corner to Cooke. Harris, Beal looking inside. Nice catch. That shot got blocked, and we got a whistle and a foul as Boston's going to be at the line shooting 2.
Yeah, and again, Boston has got 2 feet inside the paint, and the freshman tries to reach around instead of just establishing good position behind and then be able to play defense.
Boston 6'5", out of St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, but made her way to the Northeast and spent her time in Massachusetts during high school. And boy, for a post player and being a freshman, Eric, her hands, her footwork, really something special.
Yeah, she's been even early on when they're just out here doing warm-ups. The amount of up and unders that they're being taught. She's almost like a young Hakeem Olajuwon.
Off the miss, it's going to be Dayton ball as Herbert-Harrigan knocked that away. So 6:51 on the clock, and it looks like South Carolina going to try and pick things up. Showing some pressure. Now they back off as Bradshaw will step into the front court. Bradshaw out of Boston, Massachusetts. Goes to Scaife. Mariah Perez. Fowler, checked by Cooke. Dayton looked for that lead back. Perez, long 2, left it on the front rim. Looks like South Carolina's giving her that shot. Here's Cooke. Nice defense there by Fowler and staying right with the shifty guard from Toledo.
Yeah, South Carolina's been doing a good job defensively. Is that almost a full denial at the three-point line and pushes those passes out just a little more, makes that the offense have to work in a little more space.
We go inside of Boston. Good help there by Scaife, but she was out of bounds, and it'll stay with South Carolina.
Yeah, great job on that weak side defense, kind of splitting that the key and then coming over and knocking over that lob.
South Carolina by 1. Harris to inbound. Kiki Herbert-Harrigan. This is kind of her game. She's got really nice mid-range and knocks that one in from 17.
Yeah, it was shifty too.
She can rise and fire, averaging just over 10 points per game. 3-point lead here for the Gamecocks. Oh, nice pass. Fowler finds Whitehead, and she's blocked by Boston.
Yeah, I think when the Flyers get the ball down there in the awkward situations, they're going to have to show the ball and hopefully get Boston off her feet a little bit.
Boston had 10 blocks in the first game against Alabama State. First player ever in collegiate women's basketball to make their debut and come up with a triple-double. Here we got a whistle, and it's Herbert-Harrigan. Picked it up on the inbounds. So that'll be at her first, team's third. Inbound to Whitehead. And they're going to call her for a double dribble. I thought for a second, would she put it back down? Because, Eric, you see that sometimes in that 50-50. Was it knocked down by the defender? You didn't have control. And right there, the sophomore called for the infraction.
Yeah, and she had nowhere to go because South Carolina did a good job denying that back out.
Boston facing up on Perez. Goes to Harris. Harris guarded by Fowler. Driving, and we got a charge. So Harris picks up her second foul, and it's interesting, Eric, because Harris seeing Fowler, maybe some size, wanting to take her off the bounce, and Fowler doing a nice job moving her feet.
Yeah, that's 2 plays when she's been trying to take her off the bounce. Is the first one down here in the corner close to us, and it was a kick ball, and now just moving your feet. So although there's a little size difference, she's moving her feet well.
Fowler working on Cooke, feeling some pressure, finds Whalen. Aaron Whalen missing the shot. Rebound, poked around, comes to Zia Cooke. Cooke into the front court. Ball deflected. Coming back the other way is Scaife. Here's Scaife. Pull-up jumper. It's off the mark. Rebound comes to Henderson. Fowler. Back the other way. They're going to say that Shaquilla lost it. Timeout on the floor. 8-5, South Carolina on top. This is ESPN Plus. Cold night in Dayton, but boy, it's heating up here at UD Arena. As South Carolina on top by 3, and a mini run for the Gamecocks as they have made their last 3 shots. Meanwhile, for Dayton, they are 0 for their last 5, and Dayton hasn't scored it in the last 3 minutes. Eric, Flyers are getting some good looks, but in the paint, it's a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, South Carolina's done a great job of pushing the offense out just a little further than I think the Flyers want to operate in. And then when they're getting good looks, they're either being blocked or they're fumbling the ball away.
Into the game, Destiny Henderson, wearing that number 3, former Miss Basketball in the state of Florida. Henderson to Cooke. Won 2 state championships back-to-back at Toledo Rogers. Misses badly here. Followed a shot, though, and puts it up and in.
Yeah, there's the Flyers got to be able to cover the defensive board. And so you can't always look at the post players to get that as they're pushing out the post players and they're defending ball screens. The guards got to do a good job coming back.
Jayla Scaife, screen from Chandler. And we got a whistle away from the ball. They're going to call 3 seconds. And Dayton, another turnover. 6-0 run here for the Gamecocks as Coach Green was happy the way her team started in the first 2 minutes, but they've gone ice cold.
Yeah, you can't seem to find a rhythm. I think South Carolina's done a great job both pushing the perimeter and not giving the Flyers anything easy inside.
Herbert-Harrigan, tough catch and great finish. And is using those long arms. She's got 4 points as she was able to score it over Aaron Whalen.
Yeah, the thing the Flyers could do a little bit better job of right there on the pick and pop, but push pace a little bit, but you got to get defensive stops.
Herbert-Harrigan going to drive it on Bradshaw, and we got a foul. And I think this is going against Chandler. That'll be her second. She got into foul trouble against Toledo. And take another look at it here is on the drive. For Chandler, she's going to have to go off. And Mariah Perez comes on. Kyla Whitehead also into the contest. I think for the Flyers, Whitehead, I mentioned it, didn't play against Toledo. Had 12 rebounds in her first game as Herbert-Harrigan misses a free throw. Without maybe your best rebounder against the Toledo team, it's always really tough inside. Dayton, they were tremendous on the glass. Now rebounding the Rockets 53-28.
Yeah, they're going to have to find a little bit of that right now.
And it is a tough task against a very tall South Carolina squad. Bradshaw over to Scaife. She's guarded by Lily Grisette, who just checked in. Scaife, tough too, missed it badly. Rebound Henderson, and South Carolina is off and running. Henderson over to Cooke. Thought about 3, will drive it. Nice dump off pass to Grisette, but lost the handle out of bounds, and it'll be South Carolina turning it over. And Eric, here with 3 minutes and some change left in our first quarter, this is a really important possession here for Dayton.
Yeah, you got to go into your playbook and figure out what the play is that you're going to want and be able to execute it knowing that there's a lot of pressure on the perimeter. But again, it'll also have to be the play after the play. What are the Flyers looking to accomplish once the play breaks down? Are they going to pick and pop? Or are they going to pick and roll to get the Gamecocks into rotations?
Bradshaw finds Scaife, 14 to shoot. Jayla on the right side of the lane, and we got a whistle and a foul, and Dayton's going to try and earn those points at the line.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of that playbook, right? It was a ball screen to a flare, which puts them into a quick rotation. It's an isolation with the shooter on your strong side.
Jayla Scaife, she can fill it up, and she's had an outstanding career and actually hit that 1,000-point plateau in their game, their tournament game in the A-10 tournament last year. So 3 seasons, 1,000-point, and Eric, this is a player, she's gotten off to a tough start in her first 2 games, especially dealing with some foul trouble, but she could be player of the year in the Atlantic 10.
Yeah, I mean, for the past, what was she? She was the A-10 Rookie of the Year. She was second team, and now she's first team, and then she was picked preseason first team, so the trajectory is there. But it's all going to have to come back. Every year's a little different for these women.
A couple of changes. South Carolina going to go with Victaria Saxton in the number 5 jersey. Also checking in Letitia Emma here. Here's a deep shot. Oh, I don't. You know, sometimes when you're playing in the morning, they don't count that as a three, but she'll use the window. All 3 points there for Zaya Cooke. 16-6. Scaife wants a triple, in and out. Rebound, Perez banging on the glass. Missed the shot, but she'll shoot 2. And Saxton's going to be called on the foul.
Yeah, that open 3 that we just saw for South Carolina, it's not a product of anything other than the screener setting the screen and then getting detached as she's running off of a couple screens.
It's a 12-1 run right now for the Gamecocks, and Dayton trying to get back into this game at the foul line, and they're missing free throws. Scaife was 1 for 2. Here's Perez. And Coach Green's not going to be happy about some of the misses out there. Missing another one, but rebound Aaron Whalen. But Bradshaw had it stripped by the talented freshman, top guard in last year's class, Zaya Cooke. Got that steal, went right to the rack, and she'll go to the foul line where she hasn't missed on the year.
Yeah, and which I think Coach Green's most disappointed about is the Flyers aren't being strung with the ball right now. Whether that's inside and getting shots blocked or getting the ball stripped from behind, they just got to be a little tougher.
Zaya Cooke, 1 of 3 McDonald's All-Americans in this recruiting class. Beal, Boston, and Cooke all played in that big game. Here she misses the free throw.
That's high level.
Yeah.
That's high level coming off of some seniors that played in the national championship game.
Scaife driving baseline. Looks for Whitehead. Aaron pass, and it's collected by Bradshaw. 2 minutes to play here in our first quarter. It's South Carolina with an early 11-point lead. Bradshaw trying to go downhill. Cut off by Amma here. Scaife rise and fire. Block. Got it back and threw it up over the glass. And right now, this game sort of looking at like Sunday's contest against Maryland, where South Carolina, it's a block party. And they set the tone with their length, making it difficult to score from in close.
Yeah, so to combat that, the Flyers just got to get them in rotations. And so it's got to be dribble drive. That's got to be opening up other lanes. You can't try and go one-on-one.
South Carolina going inside to Amma here. Tough shot. Cooke came in on the rebound, and Cooke's doing a nice job hitting the offensive glass. That's the second time we've seen her go after the old board, and here she'll be back at the line.
Yeah, and it's tough for the Flyers right now. Well, we'll keep going back to what South Carolina is doing defensively, but if the Flyers aren't getting stops and being able to run in transition, you're taking away one of the things that they've historically done the best job of.
Cooke has a lot of friends and family here tonight as this ball off the miss is going to be off Perez's foot. Amma here was in there banging. Not a short trip from the Glass City here to Dayton. As it's about 2.5, maybe 3 hours to Toledo. Easy trip on I-75. Cooke going to be calling on an offensive foul here. And Shaq Fowler, that's the second charge we've seen her take here in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, she's been a catalyst on the defensive end. What the Flyers need to do is now rally around that, get a little momentum on their side. Again, coach has got to go into her playbook and figure out what the action is that she's going to want to get the score.
Perez unable to squeeze that pumpkin, and it rolls to the baseline. Another turnover. Flyers haven't scored in the last 6.5 minutes. That is a field goal. They've had a free throw, but this is a 14-1 run by the Gamecocks. Flyers able to get a stop. Let's see what they come up with here on offense. Aaron Whalen going to take a 3 and miss it off that side rim. Rebound to Henderson, and Dayton can't buy a basket. Henderson, all freshman a year ago, goes to Lily Grisette. Missed it. Rebound Amma here. Out to Cooke. Triple try. It's good.
It's an offensive rebound. Again, you need guards coming back for it.
Timeout for Dayton and Zaya Cooke. A homecoming. She has got a quick 10 points. First player in double digits. And Cooke. Toledo Rogers beat Dayton Carroll a year ago in Division II basketball here in the Buckeye State. And as you take a look at some of these highlights, and Cooke getting to the foul line. Sometimes you get that rhythm. We saw her bank in a 3. That was all nylon.
Well, the other thing is it's a little uninspired on the Flyers' end. There's an offensive rebound and then no intentionality to run a three-point shooter off the three-point line. So the Flyers just got to play with a little bit more energy, get a little bit more momentum going in their way, and then settle down on offense and begin to play their style of play.
Dayton going to make a change. Jenna Giacone and Brittany Ward come in as they'll see in the next 42 seconds. Flyers have missed their last 11 shots. And in the last 7 minutes, it is an 18-1 run for South Carolina. Fowler, guarded by Henderson. Looks for Giacone. Out of New York, a senior. Had 9 points in their win against Toledo. Whitehead goes right side to Whalen. Transfer from Vanderbilt. Spin move in the lane, missed it. Rebound out long to Grisette. Shot clock turned off. Grisette almost lost the handle, but able to find Henderson and South Carolina to hold for the last shot. Henderson goes high post to the rack is Saxton, and we got a foul as 2.3 on the clock, and it'll be Victaria Saxton, also all freshman a year ago. So you got 3 McDonald's All-Americans, top recruiting class, and then you talk about your sophomores and underclassmen. Henderson and then Saxton here at the foul line. All rookie a year ago. This is a really young squad for South Carolina, but the talent, it's eye-popping.
Yeah, Coach Saley's really been able to capitalize off that national championship a couple years ago.
Ward on the rebound, unable to get the shot as Saxton went 1 for 2 from the foul line. Well, Dayton led 5-4, but it was all South Carolina at the end of the first. Gamecocks 22, Flyers 6. Having fun on a Wednesday night, and Zaya Cooke is happy to be back in Ohio. So Dayton and South Carolina, and it's been all Gamecocks as we've played a quarter. Jenna Giacone over to Shaq Fowler, trying to get inside, and got an offensive foul. It looked like Beal was going to get that steal, but instead it's a whistle on Kyla Whitehead. And, well, boy, Eric, if you coach Shauna Green, that's not how you wanted to start in your first trip here in the second quarter.
Yeah, but you got to pick it up now on the defensive end. You look at the stats, and you know South Carolina only has 6 misses, but 5 offensive rebounds. They've shot 12 free throws. To me, that's an effort thing more than a schematic thing.
Great pass, Emma here, able to find Grisette. She got the seal on Jayla Scaife, and Grisette able to score it 24-6. Jenna Giacone, baseline jumper, too strong. Rebound. Brittany Ward, I thought she was going to come up with it on baseline. Instead, it's Saxton. And Henderson going to step into a 15-footer, in and out. Rebound back to Saxton, but she was out of bounds.
Yeah, another offensive rebound for South Carolina, and then on the other end, it's an errant shot, and can't come up with an offensive rebound for the Flyers.
So South Carolina, a win on the road. Number 4, Maryland, out of the Big Ten. Coming on the road here, and boy, they have not disappointed. Shaq Fowler to the hoop. Boy, with some contact, able to kiss it off the window, and Dayton finally gets their first field goal for 8 minutes.
Yeah, it's a really good job on the ball screen. The whole floor was lifted. Fowler was able to reject the ball screen and sneak in there.
Henderson driving on Fowler, cut off, goes to Grisette. Emma here, screen. Henderson won't use it, goes the other way. Put it up, in and out. Another O board. Beal had it blocked. Beal gets it back, up, and she'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, we need to see we need to see the better engagement from the Flyers. I mean, none of these rebounds are being missed as far because South Carolina is shooting very close shots and then getting their misses. It's one thing if they're shooting threes and the ball is going long and then your guards are hanging out on the perimeter. You need the guards to come back and engage on these rebounds.
Well, we were talking before the game about some numbers in regards to rebounding, and one thing that you were really impressed with is South Carolina and their ability to get their own miss. They are just everybody crashes.
Yeah, and the size of South Carolina is beginning to win a little bit as well.
Missing 2 free throws. Whitehead comes up with it. Dayton, after the score from Fowler, trying to get things going, find a groove. Shaq. Amma here runs into her. That is a terrific head fake. She's listed at 5'6", Eric. I don't know about those numbers, but she plays like she's 7'2", and she is crafty as all get out.
She's crafty, and then on the other end, she's kind of been a spark on defense, drawing 2 charges. But what I love there is they finally got the defensive rebound. We're able to push pace and keep the pace in the half court as well.
Well, both these teams really struggling from the foul line. South Carolina, they are 6 of 14 from the stripe. And Dayton, not much better. 1 of 5, now 2 of 6 as Fowler gets that one to go down. But the freebies have not been easy here tonight. Emma here from Canada, inside to Saxton. And again, just position.
Yeah, it was the tail of the tape early on in the game with Boston, and it was just easy entries. South Carolina's been able to adjust, understanding that UD's playing on the front side more. Now they're just lobbing it, negating the help side.
Aaron Whalen had a career high at Vanderbilt against South Carolina. Finds Fowler, back to Whalen, long 2, in and out. Rebound pulled down by Grisette. Looking for Harris, great catch and finish.
Yeah, the Fly's got to get back on defense on that one. It's a simple rebound, and then just got to create a funnel, stop the ball earlier, and then sprint back, cover the rim.
It was a terrific dribble drive by Fowler. Looked to find Brittany Ward underneath, but ball was knocked out of bounds. And Perez going to come in. Whitehead checks off. Leading scorer in this game, Zia Cooke, will re-enter, and Beal going to take a seat. Dayton led 5-4, and since that point, South Carolina just rolling. Jayla Scaife is in a funk. She missed that, and badly. Harris coming back the other way for the Gamecocks. Boston, high post. Back into this game, working on Perez. Freshman on freshman, good defense there by Dayton's own. Boston gets it back, 1 dribble, up and in.
Yeah, it's a really good, quick first move. Most time we talk about having a good first move on the perimeter, but that first step in the post, great feat.
Ward goes in the corner to Whalen. 30-9. South Carolina, 21-point lead. Here's Fowler, guarded by Cooke. Oh, terrific crossover, but she missed the shot. Kind of lost herself with the move almost, Eric, as wasn't able to cleanly get that into the pocket. Harris, who picked up 2 fouls early, and she has been named to about every award you can think of when it comes to women's basketball. Grisette going to be called on an offensive foul. That was an easy call there.
But it's really good defense, a team defense, because for the first time that ball came in the high post, and the first look was to go on the lob into the post and then be able to recover as the court shrunk on the strong side.
Fowler, senior, transfer from Illinois State, go to community college. Throws in the corner. Ward, a transfer from Butler, missed that short rebound. Comes to Perez, and she's fouled by Boston. And Mariah Perez will be back at the foul line for the second time tonight.
And the Flyers starting to play with a little bit of energy, really scrappy, and then being able to go through a little bit of contact. Now they got to convert at the free throw line, get a little bit of momentum going. There's still plenty of time before this media timeout. Get a mini run.
Boston picking up her second foul. Here's Perez finding the score column. It's her first point of the night. Herbert-Harrigan comes in for Boston. She takes a seat with those 2 fouls. Perez cashes in on both free throws. And 19-point game. Harris Over to Cooke. Pick and roll action. Saxton scored.
Yeah, even on that ball, so it's an empty side ball screen, so that means 3 of the Flyers were coming on the strong side. Somebody's got to be able to hold that help line and be able to recover.
Step back, in and out. Rebound Perez, 1 dribble, back up. Too strong.
But good job by the freshman playing with a little bit of energy off the bench.
Here's Cooke. Thought about 3. We'll give it to Harris. Herbert-Harrigan, one of the best to do it when it comes to blocks at South Carolina. Saxton foul on. Over to Harris. Let's go with 3. No. Rebound tapped up and comes out to South Carolina. Cooke over to Herbert-Harrigan. 1 dribble pull up. In and out. Rebound Jayla Scaife. Scaife looking to go. Double team. Picks it up. Puts it in.
Good job there. But good job on the defensive glass too by the Flyers, cleaning up. Just quick get back on defense.
Well, for Dayton to score it at one end, the coaching staff's not going to be happy about that as Saxton beats everyone down. And she's got 6 points. Fowler a 3. Off the back rim. Rebound Grisette. Harris eyes up. She is coming close to 1,000 points. Here's a deep shot from Cooke. And Harris can also give it up as one of the tops when it comes to assists. And right now it's all SC. 37-13. South Carolina locked in on the defensive end as Eric, this is a Dayton team shooting 16%. 4 of 25 from the field and 1 of 8 from 3. As you look at some of these highlights, Dayton just having a tough time on offense.
Yeah, South Carolina with 3 blocks on the books, but they're altering a lot of shots, and I think the tone was set early in the game on the first possession of the game where Boston recorded a block, and now all of a sudden it's a little timid, but the Flyers to go inside, whether that's on the post or the drive.
Ariane Bradshaw back into the contest, playing with 2 fouls. Here she is probing. Over to Aaron Whalen. Let's go to 3. Left it on the front rim. Rebound tapped by Scaife, but it's controlled by Henderson. Henderson lost it, got it back, and will go up and get fouled.
Flyers just got to be able to come up with that one. They do a good job on the initial break, but you just got to come up with a loose ball.
Well, for South Carolina, you know, in this world that we live in where you're shooting a lot of 3s, South Carolina's a little bit of a throwback because they get it done in the paint, and I say that, of course, with them shooting it well from distance 3 of 4, but they're known for their defense, they're known for the rebounding, and they just put that hard hat on and go to work.
Yeah, and I think it's a good job by Coach Staley to identify a game plan and be able to create schemes that are going to utilize weak side help and exploit it if you're not there, and then be able to isolate her post players one-on-one on the strong side.
Henderson able to knock in both free throws, her first points of the game. Fowler to the hoop. Missed the shot, but she was fouled. And, well, Shaq Fowler, she's been engaged. As Dayton points are hard to come by, but she's sitting here with 5 trying to get to 6 and match Jayla Scaife as the leaders. And just 3 Flyers have scored it here tonight.
Yeah, and Fowler's done a really good job on both ends of the court, and I think if the Flyers can begin to emulate that a little bit and begin to take a defensive identity in this game, then the offense comes and not the reverse.
Fowler had 16 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists in that win at Toledo on Saturday. Knocks in both, and Zia Cooke going to go to the bench. Lily Grisette comes on. Kind of interesting for Grisette. Was a post player, listed as a forward, and has tried to move into that guard position as here she is with the handle. Goes over to Henderson. Henderson is screened from Herbert-Harrigan. Emma here to Grisette. Left side to Henderson, 10 to shoot. Ty Harris. Emma here. driving. Good defense there by Dayton. And we got a foul on the rebound. This is going against Kiki Herbert-Harrigan. That'll be her second.
Yeah, it's a good job there by the Flyers. The best defensive possession of the game, not because it ended in a stop, because the rotations were sound. Nobody got caught up on the help side, defended your person one-on-one, and then you ended with the stop.
And then to add to that point, Dayton maybe coming away with some points as they're in the bonus, with that being the 5th foul against the Gamecocks. And here's Jenna Giacone, who misses it off the left side of the rim. This is a player who has just been trying to find the floor. Injuries have really gotten in the way of her time at Dayton, but able to get into the score column there with a free throw. And Dayton going to try and turn things up here. Full court pressure handled by the Gamecocks. Here's Henderson, loses the handle, gets it back. Kick out to Harris, right side to Grisette. Back to the talented senior. Few dribbles and then just splashes one from the left side.
Yeah, that's just a good player making a tough shot. But the Flyers, again, with a good job defensively, keeping things in front of him, not getting hung up on the weak side. Just unfortunately a good player making the tough shot.
Here's a tough shot. In and out. Scaife went after it, got it, put it up. No. Third time, Jayla, she'll get to the line.
A way to stay with it there, but South Carolina, again, they're just the length that they play on the inside is altering shots and forcing the Flyers to double clutch a little bit.
Jayla Scaife right now working hard here as she is able to get to the stripe. That foul being called against Saxton, that'll be her second. But Jayla, it has been a tough night because she misses the free throw here. Now 1 for 3. She's 2 for 10 in this game, and they're still in Staley. And she's done just about everything when it comes to basketball. As most outstanding player in her time as a Virginia Cavalier, took them to a couple Final Fours back in the early 90s. Coaching, WNBA All-Star, gold medal. I mean,
now she's going to be the Team USA coach. Going for gold for USA this summer.
Henderson is going to be called on the offensive foul. And Coach Green there on your screen, she wasn't a bad player either in her day at Canisius. And how about Shaq Fowler? This is the 3rd offensive foul that she's been able to, you know, she's doing it on both ends. Fowler into the front court. Screen from Giacone. Jenna to the hoop, lost the handle. Ball picked up by Bradshaw. 13 to shoot. Whitehead, 15-footer, no. Loose ball, and at last touch, Ariane Bradshaw. New player out there for South Carolina. It is the individual inbounding, that being Alyssa Weselek. She was Miss Basketball in the state of South Carolina back in 2018. Beal, pick and roll action. Emma here, she traveled.
It's a good job right there. I mean, although you won't see it, but Fowler's holding that help side, delays that pass just enough to force an uncomfortable catch.
41-17. It's been all South Carolina here in the first half. And another change, Olivia Thompson. Also from the state of South Carolina, grew up a Gamecock fan and living out her dream. Didn't play in that game against Maryland, but she played 7 minutes against Alabama State, had 10 points. Scaife. Turnaround jumper, no. And right now for Dayton, they are just struggling to score. 1 for their last 13. Minute and some change left here in our first half. Dayton just 4 field goals. Here's Bradshaw trying to jump the passing lane and did a nice job. Senior trying to step up, do it on defense as she's able to knock it off Beal, and this will be a Dayton basketball.
Yeah, again, it's playing with just a little more passion, a little more energy, and you're going to create some of those things, and eventually it'll go your way.
Fowler knocking in a long 2, and she's got 9 points to lead the way for Dayton.
Yeah, she's been super consistent all night on both ends of the floor.
Henderson, that slow dribble. South Carolina in their win against Maryland, they just, not only did they set the tone, but they set the pace. As they can play a couple of different ways, and sometimes it's slow, methodical, and efficient. That's what they were Sunday. That's what they're here doing tonight. Grisette driving, lost it, and Dayton able to get another stop. Jayla Scaife into the front court. Going downhill with the left hand. No, rebound. Whitehead was there. Puts it up and in. Henderson loses the handle. Fowler knocked it away. Giacone trying to beat the horn. So Dayton a little bit of a run to end that first half. And we go into intermission with our score. South Carolina 41, Dayton 21. SEC in the A10, and you're watching ESPN Plus. South Carolina in control as we're getting ready for the third quarter. Flyers got on a little bit of a run late in that second quarter. Really, just a 4-point game in the last 10 minutes, but 22-6 looking back to the first 10 minutes. And Aliyah Boston was doing it, and is just sort of establishing herself in the paint. Dayton had a nice start, get a jumper from Shaq Fowler. Boston still working hard, got Julia Chandler in some foul trouble. And this is really what sort of stuck out in that first half, Eric, offensive rebounding. Yeah,
it's been the tail of the tape, and that's what we had talked about on the onset of the game. It's like, which team is going to win the battle of the glass? UD had come into the game really dominating the defensive glass, and South Carolina had come into the game really being able to all assert their will on the offensive glass. And right now, South Carolina is winning.
Jayla Scaife with 7 points. The Flyers would be led by Shaq Fowler as she had 9. Here's Ty Harris, just 4 points in that first half as they were led by their freshman guard, and that being Zia Cooke with 13. As you look at stats, boy, Dayton really struggling on offense as they were 6 of 33, 1 of 9 from 3, and really outside of the turnovers for South Carolina and free throws, they have really had themselves a nice night.
Yeah, but Dayton, I mean, you look at those numbers. South Carolina shooting 56% from the field. You just got to have a better effort on that. I don't know if that's anything schematically that you can go and adjust, other than trying to get the team to play a little bit harder.
Dayton and South Carolina for your Wednesday. Come back with us. We got the second half. It's the Gamecocks on top by 20. South Carolina and Dayton, and Gamecocks a dominant first quarter, and they have a big lead as we get ready for the third quarter coming out of the locker room. 41-21. Eric, what do you think the message was at halftime? First for the Flyers and then for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I think Coach Green's just going to go in there and just say, hey, we've got to reestablish our dominance on the inside. Can't let us be bullied around on the inside. And defensively, we just got to play with a little bit more heart and energy. I think Coach Staley's in there saying, just do what we've done. We've got a 20-point lead. We weathered the best blow that we think the Flyers can give us, and we've got a 20-point lead. Do what we do. Continue to impose our will.
It's going to be South Carolina basketball. Zia Cooke, she had 13 points. She's got a lot of friends and family in attendance tonight. Bree Beal, freshman from Illinois, over to Boston. Inside of Harris. And nice dump off. Cooke's got an easy one out front.
Yeah, early on, understood there was a mismatch with Fowler. Get Fowler off the perimeter because she's been such a pest, and then exploit the size mismatch.
Here's Fowler driving. Kick to Whitehead. Baseline jumper in and out. Got a whistle and a foul, and that'll be the third on Bradshaw as Cooke got taken down.
Yeah, but what you like there, you don't necessarily like your guard going there and picking up their third foul. But what you do like is that there's a little bit of effort, a little bit of energy going after it.
For Bradshaw, you got to
Flyers
be kind
looking
of
to go to zone.
That'd be kind of an interesting and playing your old team and starting somewhere and then not having to face them once but twice.
Right. Very unique.
Here she is getting a steal on Cooke, And terrific hustle and effort. Here's Fowler working on Harris. Dribbles in, now out. Screen from Whitehead. Will reset with Bradshaw. Senior. Or excuse me, redshirt junior. Working on the freshman, finds Scaife. Pull-up jumper. And Jayla Scaife just has not been able to find a good rhythm here tonight.
Yeah, and that's one she should have made one more pass to Chandler in the corner.
Boston working on Chandler. Good defense there as Julia able to send it away.
You know, I think she did do a decent job of that when she was playing in the first half, is just maintaining position. It's just staying vertical against something that's really, really difficult.
One thing I'm really impressed with by the freshman Boston is Harris on the inbounds got it right back and missed the baseline jumper. Flyers looking to push tempo here. Scaife, the screen from Chandler. This is another mid-range jumper. Boston, for a freshman, really patient. So sometimes you see young players just sort of rush, get it on that spot and try and get it up. We've seen a couple times tonight, she'll post, get it, kick it out, and then repost and get it back. And she just seems really well-versed for her age. Cooke, corner three, missed it, rebound out of bounds, and this is going to be Dayton ball.
Yeah, those are one of those opportunities. Flyers got to be able to come down with a clean rebound on that so you can begin to play with a little bit more pace.
Fowler guarded by Cooke. Gets a screen here. Finds Chandler. Wants a three. Got a three.
Great action. Good roll replace action. South Carolina getting held on the roll for a little bit long.
Julie Chandler could do that. She hit the Gamecocks for 3 3-pointers a year ago. Led the Flyers in that loss in Columbia with 15. Boston, the kick out to Beal over to Cooke. Extra pass. And Herbert-Harrigan left it on the rim. Nice box set. Julia Chandler really working here and taking over the duties as point guard. Just threw it away. Harris back the other way. Charge. And
Fourth charge.
That's the fourth charge. And, you know, that South Carolina bench, they're upset about that call. But, you know, for Fowler, she's square.
It's a good call. It's tough because it's in transition. Does a little bit of backpedal, but at the same time, she's got her position. She's square, like you said.
Shaq Fowler, I think there's a lot of players that feel like they can get something off of her height. Chandler wants another three. Off the back iron, rebound, Whitehead. She'll let it go. Missed it, left it short.
The Flyers may want to put those in their back pocket and save it for later as those pick and pops are working.
Harris missed the layup. Cooke was there on the putback. New career high for Zia Cooke. And I feel like she's going to have a lot of those in her South Carolina career.
Talented player, very talented.
Fowler in the corner to Scaife. Screen from Chandler. Rise and fire. Jayla Scaife just tough night. 2 for 15. It's been a tough start to the year. I mean, for a player that's normally always in double figures, hasn't been able to get there yet here for 2019-2020. Boston, an easy one from the inside. She's got 9.
Yeah, Flyers, you know, what got lost in the translation on that play is Flyers got lost in transition, and nobody was there on the help side.
Well, in Boston, she forces the turnover there because she comes out on a closeout. I think Fowler wanted to shoot that basketball. Instead, puts it on the deck and not fast enough. Called for steps.
Looks like the Flyers are back in that zone.
47-24. This is South Carolina team that has struggled early in the season shooting from distance. Go inside to Boston. Kick out to Beal and back to Boston. Beal going to let it go. Missed it badly. Rebound, though, comes to Harris. Nice dump off. Scaife on the block as Beal had it sent out of bounds. Whalen going to come in and Kyla Whitehead to go off.
Yeah, 5 seconds on the clock for South Carolina. Flyers got to just be aware, force a quick shot, and then be ready to box out.
Driving, Cooke, tough shot, got it back, and she got fouled going up a second time. And that foul against Chandler will be her third.
Flyers that need to do a better job of that underneath out of bounds, because you got to what you want to do is keep things and force the pass to go long. Instead, South Carolina was able to have something coming to the basket, which created an easy shot for them.
Cooke, 18 points. One of Cooke's biggest fans is Albert Prince Bell, one of the upcomers in WBC, undefeated, also from Toledo.
What weight class?
Feather.
You think you could take
like a 130s. No, no, and no. And no again. I don't think I could even. I wouldn't see his hands until I woke up in the hospital. Here's Whalen, triple try, no. Rebound comes to Perez, baseline. She'll let it go. Boy, Dayton, there's just a lid on that hoop. Harris throws it to Cooke. Great strip there by Fowler, getting back in the play.
She's fun to watch. I'll tell you, she's just very fun to watch. She's all over the place.
Timeout on the floor. It's South Carolina by 25. Come back with us. This is ESPN Plus. South Carolina with the basketball on top by 25. This is Atisha Amahir. She's able to splash it. That's her first field goal.
Yeah, the underneath out of bounds and sideline out of bounds are what the football fans would understand as special teams. And Flyers just got to do a better job on that.
Perez. Dayton, they have not scored it in 3 minutes. 0 for their last 5. It's a South Carolina 8-0 run. 9 to shoot. Bradshaw going to the hoop with the left hand. No. Rebound. Perez was there. Blocked by Saxton. Out to Scave. She beat the buzzer, but unable to score it. And the rebound to SC. Saxton in transition got hit by Fowler and goes down.
That was the best look Jayla Scaife has had all day.
Yeah, Jayla tonight has struggled from the field, and Shaq Fowler leading Dayton with 9 points. Amahir able to save it. Saxton. This is Harris. Got a whistle away from the screen, and this is going against Amahir. Legal screen. You ready for this? Amahir, outstanding athlete from Canada, dunked at the age of 15. Yeah.
It's a good athlete.
Unfortunately, had a knee injury. We got a whistle and a foul here as Beal running into Scaife. And that foul going against Beal. Amahir got hurt and actually graduated early, got to South Carolina. Here's Scaife going off the window. No. Rebound out to Beal. Beal trying to find her groove on offense. Over to Cooke. Inside, and we got a hold. We got actually a couple of whistles, but they both saw it, and that being Aaron Whalen. Kyla Whitehead going to come on. Bradshaw goes off.
Yeah, I thought Cooke passed up a really good look there in transition.
Harris to inbound to Saxton. Rise and fire. Got the roll.
Getting into special teams. The last 3 baseline out of bounds that South Carolina had, they've had 4 points just off of the initial action and have gotten to the line for another 2 points. So they've had 6 points.
Fowler, a spin move, getting to the hoop. Missed the shot, and Gamecocks on the run out. It's Harris on the pull-up, missed everything. Rebound, Whalen. So both these teams trying to push it here. Fowler, floater, off the glass, and boy, she comes up limp. Fowler, the first Flyer in double figures. She's got 11. Harris back the other way with the left hand. No. Rebound, Aaron Whalen. Had a career high 11 boards on Saturday at Toledo, trying to find Fowler. That ball's out of bounds.
And maybe cramping up for Fowler.
Now Fowler's going to come out of this game as Jenna Giacone to check in. Ariane Bradshaw also back on the floor, and Aaron Whalen will take a seat. Cooke to the pine, and it's going to be Destiny Henderson. Giacone to Scaife, back to Jenna. Let's go with 3. Yes.
Really good action there. You had a pin down on one side, a flare on the other. Really good action by Coach Green.
53-29. Henderson, foul line jumper, ringing off the back iron. Good box out there by Scaife. So Dayton got the 3. They get the stop. Scaife wants another 3. Oh, it's just one of those nights.
Sometimes you haven't. But if you have an off night, what you want to do is you don't want to disrupt the flow of the rest of the offensive schemes. So take your shots when you have them. Other than that, be a good ball reversal person.
Jayla Scaife going to come out. And Ella Skeens, a sophomore from Chillicothe, will check in. 2:13 on the clock. Henderson feeling some pressure from Bradshaw. Harris. This is a big-time player wearing that number 52 jersey in the black. Beal over to Henderson. Looking inside. They go to Saxton. Tough shot, Molly. She's been up for the challenge. She's got 10 points tonight. Flyers back the other way. Giacone almost threw it away, and yeah, this is going to be a turnover. Bradshaw is saying that she didn't touch it, but it's going to go back to the Gamecocks.
One of the other interesting things about South Carolina is they've been able to play a lot of different styles of play within this game. They've been able to establish inside. They've been able to play fast, and they've been able to execute in the half court very efficiently.
Harris, nice drive, kick. Henderson, no. Rebound tapped out by Beal. And Harris will reset. Last year in that game at South Carolina, as we got a timeout here by Coach Don Staley. And we're going to take a break with them. So South Carolina on top, 55-29, as it's the Gamecock team that's currently 28-4, and talking about points in the paint. Our officials, Bruce Morris and Safe Esho. A few words. They're going to go over to the scores table. And talking with our scorekeeper. And Jenna Wilhoit. You almost wonder, Eric, if maybe there's an issue with the book. Coach Don Staley gets up, and she'll walk over towards the scores table.
But what you got to be thinking right here for the Flyers, though, every time the South Carolina's taken the ball out on their special teams lately, they've gotten good action. So Flyers got to come out of the timeout, be ready to defend, hopefully finish with the rebound, and be able to push space. Get on a mini 4-0 run right here could do wonders heading into the fourth.
All right, we're back to basketball. Ty Harris was talking before the break, her closing out Dayton last year in Columbia. She closed out the Terrapins on Sunday. Baseline jumper, Saxton missed everything. So the Flyers able to get a stop on the defensive end, trying to find something on offense. It has been tough to come by. Points, that is. Bradshaw guarded by Beal. Calling for a screen. Gets one from Chandler with that left hand, blocked by Saxton. And that's the thing about South Carolina. I mean, we talked about Boston, but you know, Herbert-Harrigan, they're Saxton. They got players, multiple players that could do this right here, and that's black shots.
And great length.
Skeens, rise and fire, no. Rebound, Bradshaw. Fresh 20 here for Dayton. Giacone on that right side. Back to Bradshaw, guarded by Henderson. Ella Skeens over to Jen Giacone. second three of the game.
Good action right there. Ball screen right into a pin down. Really good action.
Ciccone with 7 points off the bench.
Flyers got to get a stop here as South Carolina holds for the last second. Go end the quarter on a little momentum, be able to come back and build off of it.
Harris, nice dribble drive, kick, and Beal missed it off the back rim. Bradshaw on the rebound, half court, good if it goes. No. So we've played 3 quarters, and the fourth coming up. South Carolina by 23 on ESPN+. Back to action is Dayton, fourth quarter, trailing by 23. Jenna Ciccone, one dribble. Herbert-Harrigan flying out there. Bradshaw to the cup. Rolls off the rim. Rebound Saxton. She's had a nice night. Double figures. Herbert-Harrigan to the hoop. Oh, that's a tough make.
She's made a couple tough plays tonight. She's a good player. South Carolina can beat you in a lot of different ways.
Herbert-Harrigan, 7 points in the game out of Pembroke Pines, Florida. A senior, has played a lot of minutes as a part of that national championship back in 2017. Bradshaw squeezes the three, no, rebound, Skeens fighting for it, but it rolls back into play to Saxton. Zia Cooke, 19 points to lead all scores. Lily Grisette, Saxton, Henderson. 10 to shoot. Cooke, guarded by Bradshaw. Going to the hoop. Might have got an extra step there. Missed the shot. Rebound, fall force. Saxton's got it. Up. No. Skeens running the other way. Pull-up jumper. Yes.
That's good. Good job in transition. One-on-one. I recognize that the defense had slacked off and take a little 6-footer.
Yeah, Skeens, her first 2. 57-34. Grisette, right side to Cooke. She'll pull the trigger. Missed the shot. We got a whistle and a foul. This was away from the ball. Julia Chandler picks up her 4th. And Perez is going to come on. Fowler also back into this game. Bradshaw take a seat.
Yeah, South Carolina's defense, their transition defense, has been stellar too. That transition was probably only a handful of points the Flyers have even had.
Inbounds went right to Saxton. Boy, South Carolina's had a great night inbound in the basketball. You've mentioned a couple times, Eric, this team, and you know, from a coaching standpoint, one, you're pleased. On the other side of it, oh, that'll drive a coach crazy.
Yeah, usually your game day prep revolves around the scouting of their special teams to make sure that you've got it all cleaned up so you're not giving away 10, 12 points at the line.
Saxton knocks in the free throw. Mentioned was all freshman team a year ago in the Southeastern Conference. Sophomore from Rome, Georgia, misses, and we got a whistle. And this is going to be a foul or an infraction. It's just official was indicating that Jenna Ciccone stepped in early. And Saxton able to take advantage of that extra toss, so she makes it. (59-34). South Carolina 22-6 first quarter, and that's just sort of where we've been since. Brittany Ward, nice step through move, but left it short. Here's Perez on the rebound, had blocked by Saxton. Terrific hustle, but unable to save it from going out of bounds.
Yeah, again, it's the ability to alter shots. Although she gets credit for the block, Brissette's down there staying tall, and then the help side comes and gets the block.
We got a hold on Saxton, and she was wrapped up with Perez underneath. And Coach Green here, Eric, you want to see your team play well and looking ahead towards Saturday as Jaconi, she's been a bright spot off the bench, her third three-pointer.
Yeah, she's been really good. There the Flyers giving South Carolina a taste of their own medicine on the special teams.
Cooke, pull-up jumper, and that's just her game. She's really crafty with the dribble, and she can rise and fire with the best of them, and that's a good reason why she's top point guard in last year's recruiting class.
And he's able to get great separation. The other thing you've mentioned a lot with their recruiting class is you've talked about state champions, people that have been, played the year in their state. They've just been able to recruit winners. It's a really good recruiting haul.
We got to travel on Jaconi. Well, you win a national championship, things change. But I think also to sort of add to your point about South Carolina and the talent that they've been able to bring in. Now Coach Staley, we were talking before the game with sports information for South Carolina. There's situations over the summer. You got some WNBA players walking around and practicing in Columbia. As Herbert-Harrigan along too.
Yeah, the recruiting just builds momentum. It's great for Team USA to have a player and coach of the caliber of Coach Staley. But for her players to be able to be around that, to be able to get Team USA's culture embedded in what they're doing.
Jenna Jaconi with a rainbow, hand in her face, 4-3 in the game, and she leads Dayton in scoring with 13 points. Ties a career high and what she had last year against Georgia Tech in a Flyer win down in Florida. 63-40. Cooke, her career night continues. She's got 24.
Yeah, and it's just trading baskets at this point. So you just got to be able to get a couple stops and build off of these things. Figure out what offensive sets early on in the season your team's executing well.
Fowler. Her jumper blocked. Comes to Skeens though. Perez had it knocked away by Saxton. Perez blocked again. And for a third time, SC is doing it on defense. Skeens to the hoop, she was fouled.
And great hustle over here that came careening over the scorers table.
Boy, Lily Grisette went flying into the stands, and we hope everybody's all right down there.
But what energy that the South Carolina is displaying here. They're up 26 points, and they're repeated block after block after block.
And give Dayton some credit as they look at this block party. Flyers staying after it. And getting blocked. Sometimes you're sort of timid to go back in, but Ella Skeens getting to the line, getting a couple of free throws, and she's got 4 points here in the second half.
And that's a mentality that Coach Green and the staff can build off of. So when you revisit film, there's going to be a lot of things that you're not going to like. But what you can then show the team is this is the culture, this is who we're supposed to be. We've got to be a, bring your work pail to lunch kind of team.
All right, 5 minutes and then some here in our game. Going inside Herbert-Harrigan. Back to Harris. This is Boston. Oh, she's just got great hands, a soft touch. And
early position helps. She's got 2 feet right under the restricted area.
11 points for the freshman. Pushes this lead back to 26. Skeens over to Fowler. In the corner, here's Ward. Long two, knocked it in. So Brittany Ward, her first basket. Both teams trading baskets. Harris comes near side to Grisette. Glad she's all right. She went flying into the first row. Almost loses it here. Deflection off Perez. Comes to Harris. Herbert-Harrigan, 10 to shoot. Across the lane. She was fouled. Timeout on the floor. South Carolina in control. So South Carolina trying to get back to Columbia with another road win. They took care of Maryland on Sunday And what was the number 4 team in the country, and number 6 team taking care of business tonight before they make the trip back and take on Appalachian State Sunday at 2 o'clock. Here's Kiki Herbert-Harrigan, and this is the free throw. Really, for Coach Staley, I think the only thing she's going to look at from a standpoint of, like, we got to get better is at the foul line.
Yeah, they played a very complete game tonight. Whether that's playing fast in transition, establishing post play. Defensively, they've been phenomenal. Their effort's been there. Very talented basketball team.
Herbert-Harrigan will go off. Coming on will be Letitia Amahir. Jaconi missing on that jumper, and ball picked up by the Gamecocks. South Carolina team is not very deep. Only got 12 players on that roster. Amahir over to Grisette. 4 minutes to play, and miscommunication there is looking for Boston, and she turned, went the other way. Throwing it out of bounds was the freshman from Canada.
I mean, to your point about the depth of South Carolina, you don't need a tremendous amount of depth when you're playing 3 McDonald's All-Americans, a Conference Player of the Year, and 2 sophomores that have been first-team All-Rookie.
Whitehead driving on to Boston. Finds Jaconi. He's been the bright spot for Dayton here in the second half. Shaq Fowler with 5 to shoot. Weaving her way through traffic. Had that blocked by Amahir. And it was a block. Yeah, it was. They got that right.
2 on the clock.
Whitehead to trigger. Finds Jaconi, long 2, off the back rim. Harris. Cooke tried to get it in to Amahir. Dayton able to get in the way. Nice pass. Fowler to Whitehead. She missed the layup. And Grisette back the other way. Jaconi able to knock it away. So both teams struggling in close.
But those are plays. Those are game-winning plays in closer games that the staff has to just continue to beat down. It's like, hey, we are making game-winning plays. We did not over the course of 40 minutes, but we did make some.
Christine Zabo going to check in. Shaq Fowler's night is done. And she ends this game with 11 points, three assists. And down to Amahir. Henderson across the lane. No. Perez on the board. Whalen pounded by Henderson. It's another thing about this South Carolina squad. They will stay with you. Everybody just moving their feet. And Jenna Jaconi and 1.
Yeah, you've mentioned she's been a bright spot, but she's also been aggressive. You know, she hasn't been intimidated out there. She's taking shots that are right in the flow of the offense, and there it's just took what the defense get her, made a tough shot.
So Jaconi, who's got 4 3-pointers in this game, trying to go with the old-fashioned 3. Cashes in at the line. She's got a career-high 16 points, and she's been efficient. 5 of 8 from the field, 4 of 5 from distance. Cooke in the corner, Wesselette missing long, rebound. And we got a whistle on a foul that's going against Aaron Whalen.
It's really been, it was that second quarter that it's really been the difference. The Flyers have played South Carolina probably 2 points in the second half. It's been neck and neck.
And the Flyers lost the third quarter by 3. They currently have a 1-point advantage here in the fourth. That could change on this shot. Cooke from in close, no. Jaconi running back the other way, and she's fouled by Amahir. That'll be the 4th foul on the Gamecocks.
I do think that officials need to do a better job, like soccer officials. If the foul doesn't impact the flow of the game, you just got to let those go.
Aaron Whalen to trigger. Finds Zabo, back to Whalen, gets in the lane, floater, no. In and out, and nice save by Weselek. So South Carolina going to be moving to 3-0. And Dayton, their first loss of the year. Flyers up next will be going to Boston to take on Northeastern for Saturday at 6 o'clock. Here's Cooke, sort of capping off her night. 27 points and another 3-ball. She is 5 of 6 from downtown. Henderson picking the pocket of Ciccone. And that's kind of the icing on the cake.
Yep. But what you got to do as the Flyers, you got a minute 30 to build for the game up in Boston. You got to continue to execute and build.
Ciccone missing that one short. Comes out long to Whalen. And they'll reset here. High post to Whalen. Back to Ciccone. Nice give and go, and she puts it up and in.
Yeah, really good play. She's saying, Coach, you got to play me a little bit more.
Be interesting for Jenna Ciccone. She goes to take on a Northeastern squad where her sister played for the Huskies for 4 years, although graduated. Here's Henderson to the hoop. Oh, a block. As that's going to be called on Christine Zabo.
It looks like she was definitely inside that restricted area. It's a good call, but thoughts there to rotate.
Coach Staley be happy to get home as her squad playing Appalachian State for Sunday at 2. And she knows a little something about this building, as before she took over the reins for the Gamecocks, a lot of years in her hometown, Philadelphia, PA, and Temple. She was just tremendous with the Owls. And won a couple of Atlantic 10 titles. 75-49. Flyers. Jenna Ciccone. Hand off to Ella Skeens. Over to Whalen. Travel.
Almost got away with it, though. Fooled everybody for
a
minute.
I thought for a second, I've seen that move probably 100 times, and I'm happy that it's still a travel. I thought there might have been a little bit of a change that I had to go address. All right, that's going to do it. South Carolina is going to dribble this one out as the Gamecocks take care of business in a big first quarter. They didn't look back, and they win here on the road, and they move to 3-0. Eric, early in the season, and both these teams trying to take this game and just get better.
Yeah, you know, that's all you can do. It's a long season. Flyers probably are going to play somebody maybe as good as this, maybe UConn upcoming. But in conference, this game, regardless of outcome, will pay dividends.
So South Carolina able to win this one as our final score, Gamecocks 75, Flyers 49. For Eric Farrell, this is Alex Mikas, our entire crew saying so long. All games airing on the ESPN networks, streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. New career high, Zia Cooke in a homecoming, 27 points. As South Carolina a winner here on a Wednesday. Have a safe night, a great tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching ESPN Plus.